Something very exciting is happening. A little known, but very important part of history is coming to the big screen this spring. Real life wrestling legends Babs Wingo, Ethel Johnson, and Marva Scott are portrayed in the new movie Queen of the Ring, which hits theaters March 7th, 2025. The movie is a biopic of another wrestling legend, Mildred Burke. Some background about Babs, Ethel, and Marva, and the indelible impact they made on history. Babs, Ethel, and Marva were among the first black women in professional wrestling ever in the United States. They broke into the business in the 1950s when many areas of American life, including sports, were still segregated. Another interesting fact about Babs, Ethel, and Marva is that they were sisters. They were actually related to each other, and not just soul sisters in the colloquial sense that many of us black Americans use when referring to each other as brother or sister. The three sisters are portrayed in the new movie Queen of the Ring by Damaris Lewis, who plays Babs, WWE star Trinity Fatu as Ethel Johnson, and Cameron Jackson, who plays Marva. Queen of the Ring is based on the book of the same name by Washington Post journalist Jeff Leen. In the movie, Mildred is portrayed by Emily Betts Rickards. Mildred Burke was the wife of infamous wrestling promoter Billy Wolfe, who is portrayed in the new movie by Josh Lucas. Under Billy's tutelage in the 1930s, Mildred became the first women's world wrestling champion. Now, try saying that 3 times. As a filmmaker myself who makes documentaries as well as narrative movies, I interviewed Jeff Leen years before the new movie was even in development. And Jeff Leen, again, is the journalist who wrote the book that the new biopic of Mildred Burke is based on. I also have one of the only interviews with Ethel Johnson, who was the first black women's world wrestling champion and rose to fame in the 1950s alongside her sisters, Babs and Marva. I interviewed Jeff Leen and Ethel Johnson for my documentary, Lady Wrestler, which is available for viewing on Amazon Prime Video. The documentary is about this whole era and the women like Babs, Ethel, and Marva who made history. Courageous women who were trailblazers and broke barriers as the first black women to integrate professional wrestling. So, in honor of the new movie Queen of the Ring and in recognition of Black History Month, here is an interview from my documentary, Lady Wrestler, with Ethel Johnson talking about her time in the industry.
So it wasn't mostly with me just the wrestling aspect. I was looking for, the strengthening of your body and, be in good shape, which was a bad thing in our times because girls didn't do that.
I hope you enjoyed that clip of the late great Ethel Johnson, who passed away in 2018. Now, something very interesting happened at the start of Black History Month. I'm recording this video in February 2025. The other day, a local TV station in my hometown, Columbus, Ohio, the CBS affiliate WBNS, rebroadcast an interview I had recorded during Black History Month of 2018 about my documentary Lady Wrestler and the courageous women who made history. I recorded the interview just before my documentary premiered at the Wexner Center for the Arts on the campus of The Ohio State University, which is my alma mater. Now, I had no idea that WBNS, this local TV station, was rebroadcasting the interview I had done years ago. And quite frankly, I never would have known about it if it were not for my friend, Kim Goodwin Martin, who is the daughter of wrestling legend Marva Scott. And Marva Scott also passed away several years ago, unfortunately. Babs actually passed away the same year as Marva in the early 2000s, so all three sisters have passed away. So Kim texted me and said, "Hey, you were on TV this morning." And I jokingly replied, "Oh, did my criminal past finally catch up with me?" I was oblivious to the whole thing, and fortunately, Kim sent me a link to the TV station's website, and I was able to record the segment on my laptop. And the strange thing is, almost at the very time that the station was broadcasting this segment, I was actually having a dream about my documentary, Lady Wrestler. In the wee hours, I had a dream that my movie was playing at a local venue and that the people who were running the venue kept showing the beginning of the wrong movie And I kept having to go back to the projection booth and show them on the hard drive I had given them the correct file with Lady Wrestler, but they kept kind of like messing it up and showing the wrong version of the movie. So it's just kind of weird that I was having this dream almost at the very same time that this local TV station was broadcasting a segment about my movie, and I didn't even know about it. It's just kind of a weird synchronicity. Now, I'm not saying that I'm Miss Cleo and that I'm psychic or anything like that. It was just one of those little happy accidents that happen from time to time in life. So check out this segment from WBNS. Shout out to anchors Tracy Townsend and Jay Plyburn and everyone at WBNS for bringing awareness to these wonderful, amazing, trailblazing women. Thank you so much for the recognition. And again, a huge, huge thank you to my good friend Kim Goodwin Martin, the daughter of wrestling legend Marva Scott. I highly recommend that you check out Kim's social media because she posts really engaging content about her mother Marva, her aunts Babs and Ethel, and the amazing contributions that her mom and her aunts made to Black history, to sports history, to women's history, and to history in general. Thank you for watching.
It is Black History Month, and all month long we're featuring stories of the Black community that have shaped history.
Coming up, we introduce you to 3 women who left a major impact on the pro wrestling world. During the month of February, 10 TV is honoring Black History Month by featuring stories of the Black community that shape and preserve history to this day. This morning, we're honoring 3 women who broke the color barrier in wrestling. Columbus natives Babs Wingo, Ethel Johnson, and Marva Scott were serious athletes. In the 1950s, they joined a professional women's wrestling team in Columbus. It was the first to ever include Black women. The women on the team wrestled in rings around the world, cheered by fans overseas, and jeered at home. Chris Bournay is a filmmaker from Columbus. He released a documentary in 2018 about the women who he says paved the way for other athletes.
I would say there'd be no Venus and Serena if there wasn't an Ethel and a Babs and a Marva.
Babs, Ethel, and Marva were inducted into the Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame in March of 2024. That is an amazing did you know story.
Yeah, that is cool. It kind of makes me want to see that documentary, too.
Yeah.
If you like this video, please leave a comment, share it, and subscribe to my channel.